There now follows a response to the budget by the Liberal Democrats Treasury spokesman, Malcolm Bruce.
Good evening. Well, many people are saying that Gordon Brown's budget really wasn't too bad. A bit more money for schools, not as bad as it might have been on tax. Shouldn't we just give it the thumbs up and let your next programme come on? You know, budgets, it's often said, are like wines. Some of them improve with age. Others seem okay at first, but then quickly go off. By these standards, Gordon Brown's first budget on Wednesday was the economic equivalent of a bottle of plonk. It may have seemed palatable on the night, but it's going to leave us all with a bit of a hangover tomorrow. It was a budget which has already delivered much higher taxes, and it will in time lead to higher interest rates. It's a budget which does very little for the NHS and education, and nothing for the environment. Let me try to explain why. Before the general election, Labour claimed that they were not about high taxes on ordinary families. Yet this budget contains one of the biggest tax rises in British history. There are a couple of small tax cuts, which will make you a bit better off. But as usual, there were a lot more hidden tax rises, which will lose you money. Mortgage tax relief cut, petrol and tobacco taxes up, higher tax on house sales, and lots of hidden taxes on your pensions and savings. The fact is that after this budget, the average taxpayer will be paying about an extra £234 tax per year, around £1,100 extra tax over this Labour Parliament. But these taxes will not stop interest rates going up because Gordon Brown has raised the wrong taxes, taxes on pensions and savings, not on consumption. That's why the experts are saying that interest rates will go up again and again. What's worse is that these extra taxes are not being used to improve our public services. Before the election, Labour pledged that education will be our #1 priority, and our schools now face real problems with rising class sizes, 1 in 3 primary school pupils in a class of 30 or more, and 21,000 temporary classrooms. Yet Labour's policy to switch money from the assisted places scheme is puny. Next year, it will provide just 1 penny extra per pupil per day. But what about the extra money in this budget for the NHS and education? Welcome, but look at the facts. This budget put no new money into schools and hospitals this year. Nothing. Next year, the budget does provide more money, but Gordon Brown announced higher inflation. And this, and the pressures on local authorities from the government's raid on their pension funds, means the extra money turns out to be a lot less impressive. It will help prevent cuts, not actually improve services. But shouldn't we be improving our schools and hospitals, not just trying to stand still? This is what a Liberal Democrat budget would have done for education. Double spending for books and equipment in schools, provide nursery education for all 3- and 4-year-olds, cut overcrowded classes, and repair crumbling school buildings. And for the NHS, a Liberal Democrat budget would cut hospital waiting lists, scrap iron dental charges, and provide more nurses and doctors. Britain deserves better than a standstill. And what about improving the environment? All the experts have said that the budget will actually accelerate climate change, not cut pollution. Since the general election, Liberal Democrats have supported the new government where we believe they were right. But we cannot support this budget. It raises taxes, but not the standards in our schools. It will lead to higher interest rates, but to lower exports. This was a budget that will age badly because it does too little for the long term. Our new force of Liberal Democrat MPs, the largest for 70 years, will use the voice you have given us in Parliament to work for a budget which will build for the long term, not just the next election, by securing economic stability, environmental sustainability, and most importantly, by investing in this country's greatest long-term asset, its people. Good night.
That was a response to the budget by the Liberal Democrats Treasury spokesman, Malcolm Bruce.
Now on LWT, crime.